Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you might be in the world. So, my name is Gia. This is my Spirit Animal Oracle series, and today is March 21st. On March 18th, the Spirit Animal Oracle that came through was Squirrel Spirit, and Squirrel Spirit wants to be invited to spend 7 days at least with us. So we're going to check in on March 25th and see if Squirrel Spirit wants to continue on at that point with us, or if we're going to pull a new card. However, in the meantime, Squirrel Spirit did want to have me pull a companion animal card to work with Squirrel for the remainder of the 7 days that we are starting out with. And this message is coming through pretty straightforward, pretty loud and clear. This is Coyote Spirit. Coyote Spirit has made an appearance a couple of times before, and Coyote Spirit is reminding us to trust in divine detours. And this to me is just perfect to partner along with Squirrel's messages. So, in relationship to Squirrel's messages of believing in yourself even when external circumstances seem to be presenting contrast to you that doesn't look like what you want, hold fast to that belief and trust your ability to discern how you might need to pivot, retreat, um, um, and then move forward again with intentional purpose and action. So, from Coyote, trusting in divine detours, the message here in relationship to Squirrel is what may feel like a detour for the old version of yourself is actually a pivot that is divinely guiding you back to your true self, or perhaps moving you through experiences that will provide clarity on the other side of moving through that experience. And again, hold on to the belief in yourself from Squirrel's messages as you move through these divinely guided pivots and detours. So, we're in the year of the Chinese year of the fire horse. And last year, that year of the snake, we shed a lot of stuff. We've done a lot of healing. We've done a lot of, letting go of old frameworks and definitions and narratives that we are very confidently sure do not fit us anymore. So we're in these new, and I put this in air quotes because of how this message came through. We're in these new definitions of ourselves, setting up new normals and new narratives. So, what this, even in and of itself, might feel like a detour. It might feel like a pivot because it's not what we came from, it's not what we shed. So, those old versions of ourselves, if they start to kind of pop up to the surface, the old patterns and stuff, these divinely guided detours, um, these divinely guided pivots, bringing us back to ourselves, it might feel like something that's taking us off track if we are starting from that vantage point of where we used to hold on to those old narratives, old definitions, old frameworks, and such that we've been letting go of. So, Coyote Spirit wants to support Squirrel Spirit's message of keep believing in yourself, keep believing in the new frameworks, the new definitions, the new normals, and keep going and believe in your ability to discern and trust where you might need to shift or change things, but be aware that for some of us, this transition still might be going on around like old self to new self, stepping out of the old, out of the shadows, into the newness. Um, Again, which is really actually just returning to our true natures, our true selves. So, from the vantage point of where we were coming from, what may feel like a detour for that old version of ourselves is actually divinely guided pivots and detours bringing us back to our true self, which we are working on confidently grounding into this new year. Do you believe it's already almost the end of March? So, yeah, we're moving along here. All right. I'm trying to think if there are any other messages. Yeah, and moving through. So, the other part of this is, sometimes a pivot or a detour feels like something that's worse than what you you were going through. Now, those scenarios in this message may very well present. It may be a kind of a contrasting, detoured experience. However, I don't know if you remember how Koala Spirit's message is Spirit has a plan. So, in those moments, Spirit has a plan. When something is being divinely guided as a detour or a pivot for you and it feels either just as shaky, just as uncertain, just as contrasting, or even worse, remember that Spirit has a plan. Keep believing in yourself. Keep trusting in the divine detour because there is a learning opportunity in that moving through that process. Everything happens for a reason. Every opportunity, every experience is an opportunity for growth and healing. You've heard me say this a lot. Every experience that we go through as a beautiful soul of light, a beautiful being of light having human experiences, every experience is an opportunity to learn, to gain further understanding of ourselves and how we relate to the world around us, and an opportunity for healing and moving above the contrast, moving past and above through the contrast. So, those are the messages coming through from Coyote Spirit in relationship to Squirrel Spirit. Just seeing if there's any other messages that want to come through. Nope, they both would just love to join us and scurry alongside of us, trot alongside of us as we reflect on how that may be currently presenting in our lives and how it might help us shift and change our perspective on what we have the capacity to hold space for ourselves. Belief and trust. Belief and trust. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you soon.